Hello, Bl'Artagnan here, with Rejoice in the Light of God's Love, the Act 3, Chapter 10, Part 2 Shinryu fight. We're bringing a no synergy team featuring Charlotta, Aerith, and Edward. The Bard is back, baby. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with Edward's C65 since he has that freeze heal and nothing better to use it on, so you might as well get, a buff extension out of it. So that's something. And we're actually going to survive that initial recast thanks to Edward's hide, which is a fun little trick. You'll see we barely survived it thanks to it not getting any brave off Edward. Unique little bit of utility there. Well, I say unique. Could have just used, Edge or something, but hey, Edge doesn't synergize with these FRs that we're bringing, so we're justifying Edward's place on the team, as per usual. As always in my Edward runs, it's more about the fact that I like the character than him actually being good. Plenty of people are using the Charlotta Aerith setup here, and it's working pretty great. Of course, outside of Tifa shenanigans, magic FRs are the way to go here, so you're seeing a lot of Terra, a lot of Charlotta, and a lot of Aerith. Alongside Hope and Vaughn, of course. Minwu synergy characters. So, the nice thing about this team is there's a butt-ton of gauge charging built into it, thanks to Aerith and Charlotta both having a bunch of free skills in their kit alongside Edward's hide. Right here, I am realizing, oh yeah, I need to use Charlotta's LD twice before I'm ready to do her whole shtick. I also realized after playing this, that I actually made a mistake in the fight. I thought that anything that broke you in this fight insta-kills you. It turns out it's just the recast. So, you'll actually see a few decisions that are made throughout the course of this fight where I probably didn't need to play it the way that I ended up playing it. But for now, we're going to go ahead into that Charlotta FR. Catch you making an appearance, throw some dice. And we're going to special HP attack the living daylights out of this doofus. Edward's once again hiding, so we can go ahead and survive the recast handily. Aerith is here to drive things, although not quite as well as her own FR. I think the way the percentages line up, Charlotta's really incentivizes her burst phase because it gives you a much bigger bonus if she's the one doing stuff. So we're going to go ahead into that burst phase. We've actually used a free gauge charge move before going into it. The finisher won't be getting a bonus, but that's okay. We mostly just want these chuck staves to be massive damage. Whoom! And boom! Aerith keeping us safe from debuffs, and we're going to finish off actually with the LD rather than another chuck staff. Reason being, I want as many uses of chuck staff as possible because we're in this for the long haul. As you might have guessed from the video length, this is going to be a 4 LD run. It's okay because we got massive gauge charge, but we will be pressing all 4 of those FR buttons. I have so many weapons this week. This will be a 4 FR run, is what I meant to say. Fury Brand. Damn, Aerith does so much damage even without ultimate weapon. It's nuts. How much does a 5 out of 5 built Aerith do with an ultimate weapon? Because I missed out not getting a staff with her, I think. Not saying I regret the dagger for Faris, but it was a terrible idea. Anyway, we're about to take on the enemy force time, so we're going to bring in Warrior of Light. Because the thing about Edward is, while he provides some protection with his EX debuff and with sleep, it's not really enough protection to keep us safe from this. So Warrior of Light is here. He's more of a supplemental support, So, refreshing buffs, that's how you do. So this fight, it's still a good fight. I think the hard countering melee is pretty great because outside of Tifa, it really does kind of restrict who you can bring. And it makes weapon types matter, which is, I think, a good thing if they're going to have weapon types. It just, forcing choices to matter is important to me, as far as this game is concerned. And this fight definitely does that. As mechanics, frame turns are funny for me because, delay is a part, and, turn manipulation is a fundamental part of the game. That's what the break system's deal is in this game. But I also feel boss interaction is part of it, and so if you can just no-turn the boss with, some kind of crazy delay setup, then it kind of... I don't know. It feels like it's kind of... If you can do that with every boss, it's not great. Here we go again. Oh god, I really need to work on my Charlotta laugh. Sorry about that, guys. But, yeah. What was I saying? Shoot, I forget. I actually straight up just forget what I was talking about. Oh, you're right, boss interaction. It's important. And so I like frame turns as a sometimes mechanic to just have situations where you need to interact with the boss. Granted, these days with these degenerate counter teams, we also have it. Let me rephrase. I keep using the term degenerate. What I mean by degenerate is any team that doesn't have Edward in it, degenerate team. There you go. That is the definition that you can I don't know, write that on a billboard or whatever, or put it on that tombstone. But now you have the working definition and can kind of go from there. You're welcome. So, Charlotta FR number 2, we're chucking staves and sealing evil and hiding. Something, I guess. Edward providing that sweet hide value. Oof, there we go. Hide once again saving our butts after the shield gets annihilated. Once we get below 50%, I'm pretty sure that the hide alone will not be enough to save us from the recast. And yes, technically Aerith could just revive Charlotta, but I'm a little worried that it'll reset her overhead stacks, and for all I know, it'll get rid of her burst effect probably, and it might get rid of her LD Chuck Stave fuses too, which would be an absolute disaster. So we really don't want Charlotta to die if we could avoid it. Characters not wanting characters to die. Novel, huh? Aerith, what a great character. What a nutso character. I love her. There aren't too many characters that stand out in this day and age, I feel. I feel like a lot of characters are just really good. Aerith, for me, really is one that stands out because the stuff she does is so powerful and so kind of comprehensively unique. Reviving, you don't get much better than reviving, Best healer in the game, the debuff immunity and the buff prevention, just, you don't get better than that. And of course, her damage is outstanding for a support. So, speaking with Charlotta, also quite nuts, but kind of different case. I'd say at this stage of the game, Charlotta's just like a really good unit. Aerith, for me, really is a head and shoulders above because of what the utility she brings on top of good damage and good numbers. Which is important, because any character can bring good numbers. Most characters bring some form of good numbers. Some bring great numbers, and that's a whole nother thing to think about. Spending some time thinking here, trying to figure out what I'm doing with Edward there. We're getting ready for that first of 2 Aerith FRs. Doing about a quarter of the boss's health with every force time, which is not good, but we're getting there. We're making progress. At 80 turns, it's a gimme. Come on. We actually use the Gladio LD here, so that Charlotta will be nice and safe. This way we can go ahead and get broken and not care, or not get broken. We can take brave damage and not care about getting broken because Gladio LD. So ding, 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 nothing. Thank you, Gladio. And that's how we dodge damage from that particular situation. Not quite ready to use the FR yet, I don't think. Because Edward has some buffs to refresh. If Hyde fell off in the middle of that, it would have been just kind of awkward. I guess I could have used Hyde to refresh Hyde and get some charge out of it, but that's not dealing damage. Thought process, guys, thought process. Basically, I was like, I'm trying to get to just the right point when I feel comfortable using the FR, and we hit it here. But it took us a second. So yeah, this was a bit of a marathon as far as Shinryu fights go. That's the thing. The reason I've been bringing these kind of goofy teams, Edward or Liud or whatever, Faris, is because the conventional best in slot teams that take these down, the Renoa teams, the Tifa teams, the Vayne teams even, it gets kind of samey after a while. You don't really interact with the boss, you just kind of blow them up. Nothing matters really. I have to refresh my Bard song there. Sad, actually. But yeah, it's not great in my opinion. Just the way the kind of the flow of the game and the tempo of it. With the I've talked about it before. I don't like the force mechanic, and what I really don't like is how, because it exists, the force mechanic, they had to artificially inflate the boss's health to justify the force mechanic, which then consequently creates this kind of ripple effect of now how do they undo the force mechanic? They can't, because the boss's HP is gigantic. So it's just kind of a part of the game now, and it's just here. So what do you do about it? And I can't think of what they could do to fix what they've done that's kind of broken, because Echoes just digs deeper into the force thing. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of a little pessimistic right now. I still like playing characters. I still enjoy hanging out with my friends on the live stream. I still like using Edward, so I'm still going to keep up with the game. I'm still overall having more fun with the game than I think I would if I just stopped playing. So I'm still here for it. I'm just kind of disappointed at the place the game is at in this moment. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Go ahead and use the Warrior of Light LD call here, because once again, force attack, we don't want to have to deal with that. I'm playing my dramatic, zonous, depressing music for when I'm very sad and introspective. Appropriate, given the situation we're in right now here with Bunavelza and with my mental state. I know, various people are quitting. Macnol quit from Dissidia Info, and that bums me out. He's first of all, he's a genuinely good dude. He's a real mensch, as I like to call him. I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of interacting with him on Discord or Reddit or whatever, but he's just a good dude. But on top of that, just the service that the Call to Arms provided in terms of, giving people an outlet for their creativity, giving people kind of help finding resources for team building, and just kind of, incentivizing people to, try to play the game was really great. And I think we're worse off with it being gone. But, I just hope that he enjoys the next, whatever he gets up to, and we can kind of soldier on without him. Oh, right, I forgot. I put hopeful music for this last FR use. I'm gonna have to be, happy and cheery for the last 5% now because of it, so let's go, guys. We can do it. Actually, no, I will say, optimistically speaking about the game, I know I say I don't know how the FR era is gonna kind of fix itself, but the devs have shown that they're capable of doing that. They've course-corrected before. I believe they can do it again. They do have a desire for this game to be, something we want to play, so give it time. I want to see more GL first, more Dare to Defy, more creativity, more inventiveness, and I believe they can do that. So on that last note of optimism, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed Edward clearing another Shinryu because he's really good. I can't even... Sorry. Anyway, this was fun, but I will see you in the next video. You stay cool. Adios.